Hello viewers and welcome to Banished. I'm your host PPChoo, and today we're starting a brand new Let's Play covering one of my most anticipated games of 2014. We're playing Banished, a medieval city building slash management game is how I would classify this title. And it's, well, you could compare it to, I guess, Dwarf Fortress with humans, I suppose, just sort of as a rough comparison. So anyhow, this is one of the titles where it's kind of easier to explain as we're playing than by itself. So let's start the game. I'm just going to randomly generate a map here, and I guess having trouble picking out a name for our village, but I'll call our town Street, I suppose, and we'll just pick a random map seed. Our map will have a lot of valleys, it'll be a large map, the climate will be fair, disasters will be on, and since this is I guess a survival title, we'll put the conditions onto hard, the starting conditions on hard. Let us begin. So, what this will do is that it'll generate us a world here, and it'll generate us a start with a pack of migrants, about 4 families, and yeah, pretty much we're thrown out into the wilderness, and we must build ourselves a little village, and eventually it'll grow large into that. So here we are, we've started out with a lot of settlers. We've started out on a nice little basin area over here. And it looks like the map that's been generated for us here is just absolutely ripe with minerals all across the board, tons of forests, with this one windy river that goes all the way from the edge of the map that wraps around from one side to another. And it looks like there are 2 of these lakes, one in the center and one in the little corner of the map for us to move. So, generated us here an absolutely spectacular little map for us to work with. And with that sort of said, let us begin playing the game. Let us begin building some stuff. So, what we'll need here is some shelter and a basic supply of food. Now, one thing that I should note is that because we are playing on the hard starting conditions, we actually don't start off with any seeds, so we can't do farming right away. Adds a little bit to the challenge. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do a fishing economy first, and then we're going to switch gears to do some other stuff as we sort of progress here. Now, we're going to need stone and a lot of wood to begin our little economy, so I'll get our guys to go forth, and the adults here will just sort of go into the world to gather these supplies, while the kids just do whatever. And this game, it has a pretty customizable HUD, and this is usually how I do mine. The adults here will go out here, they'll gather their wood. It's early spring, so, you know, some snow might fall, and that's evident right here. Oh, now it's cleared up again, so that's good. And now it's raining. So it looks like we started out with 9 adults and 5 children. And the children will just sort of wander about here. The adults will actively seek to gather these resources that we place down. And now that we have a decent amount of these resources, let's begin by building a fishery for food. And we'll just put that right, say, here. I want to make it right there. And then I want to have a few houses nearby. And I want these houses to sort of be picturesque little village huts, so I'll place them around like that, just so that they have some trees nearby, some nice little cover, and we'll go with something like that. Looks like one of the kids turned into adult. Now we have 10 and 4, which is nice. And our guys are still stripping down all of the trees inside this area. That's rather nice. I think I might have designated a little too many removal tasks, so I'll get rid of them over there. And now our guys will start to move the goods that they have stockpiled over here over to the construction zones, and because I've assigned 2 guys to be builders, they will start to build these buildings. I think we can actually bump that up to right around 6, just because it's the early game. And our guys will start to build these little houses for themselves in that fishery dock too. And we'll just wait until these are finished. Actually, let's just get everybody to build. Let's get all of the little villagers to build their little town huts. And now because we have that fishing dock up and running, I'll get 4 of the people to come over here and do fishing. Alright, so now we have our little town working. People are starting to get food. Just in time, actually. We ran out of food from that little hut. So everybody should be doing some task like that. Alright, well now that we have farming, or rather we have fishing down, let's worry about getting some other necessities done for. Looks like we're still going to need some more food, so what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to get some stone, because we do need that to build some more buildings. And I'm going to pluck down a gatherer's hut, and some gatherers will just sort of go out into this forested area, and they'll be able to harvest some wild food from that area. So, I'm gonna get this gatherer's hut, and I think I'll just place it right over here, nicely inside this clearing. And our guys are gonna come over here again, they're gonna drop off the resources necessary to build this hut, and then they will start to build it. Oh, and that's right, the other thing that we need is a storage hut for all of the food that we are generating. That way we can get rid of that little hut thing that or not hut, but the little tent thing that we have, or, yeah, what am I saying, this little cart thing that we have over here, because then all of the food can be just stored inside this barn. So makes things a little bit more handy. And let's assign 2 gatherers to the gatherer's hut. Pull back up that professions menu, so we have 4 fishermen, 2 gatherers, and that should keep our food intake up for the next little while. And our village here is starting to come together, so now we can solve some of the less urgent problems. It's early autumn, so winter will be coming soon, and with winter comes the problem of heating. So, with that sort of said, I'm going to build a woodcutter's hut next over here. And one thing that you may have noticed is that on this little hut, on this little wooden house rather, you'll see here that there's this little snowflake icon. That's saying that this hut requires heating. Something that we don't necessarily have just yet. Well, that's alright, because I'm going to get heating in just a little bit. I'm going to get our builders to build a woodcutter's lodge, and this building here, it doesn't necessarily cut down trees or do any of that, but it converts these logs into firewood, and then we can use these firewood logs to heat the houses, and I believe they also serve some other purpose too. But so far, I think they only, but I've only found out that they heat these houses. So, let's see. Looks like we have all the logs, we just need stone again. Always run out of stone inside this game, so let's go out and let's collect the houses or let's collect all the stones over there. And the game is at max speed. Yeah, I've noticed that inside this title, you do need to leave the speed modifier at the very full value, and that'll just sort of get your guys to just do whatever. Perfect. Now they have enough stone, so they will build this little area. There we go. Now construction is starting to occur. Population's also increasing. We have 12 adults now and 6 children, so they are the new people. Oh god, what if the entire village is just inbred people, like a group of like 70 or 80, just horrendously inbred mutant people. It'd be horrifying. But going away from that, what I think we need to do right now is we have the basic necessities done. Now we have a few options to work with. We can build some roads to make our little economy here a little more efficient. Evidently, I think food is a non-issue. Usually when you only have the fishery, food becomes an issue simply because the 4 people there, they don't seem to generate food fast enough, but with the hunter or with the gatherer's hut, it seems to work well. I think what we need to do now is, oh, I didn't mean to do that, is that we can remove this little cart here, and then it'll move all the supplies into the storage barn and the stockpile we have here. But I think next game year, we could go out and we could start to build a trader's hut. It would be useful for us to start to build a trader's depot, and a trader's depot would make it so that we are able to get some seeds, and with some seeds we will be able to do some farming related tasks, and farming is obviously one of the sort of staple things that we need to do. Let's see our stockpile. So we have about 50 units of firewood now, so that should last us a while. 700 units of food, decent amount of stone, decent amount of tools and clothes. So all we really need to do now is just wait for our population to... Did I designate this right? All we need to do is just wait for them to collect all of these resources over here. I want to sort of get these, I want to designate it so that we leave a little bit of trees around on the map, simply because I think it looks really, really nice. And once our village grows by a bit, it'll be really, really handy just to have those trees still present. It makes it look really, really pretty. So our guys will just do that. It looks like we have 2 more adults now, so now the count is at 14 to 4. That is good. I wonder if these houses, yeah, no, we have plenty of housing. Looks like we actually have 2 big families, and 2, I want to say, oh, no, 3 big families and 1 small family. Alright, that's fine. Yay, tons of resources. Don't know if you guys are able to tell, but I'm trying to make these places so that there's like one outing overhead, like one forest or one clearing over here, one more clearing over here, and then maybe we'll have the trade dock over here, and then this little settlement will look really, really rather nice once we have those things just sort of done. Yeah, I believe this is stone, or this is iron right here. So we'll collect that, seeing as how that is also a fairly important thing to have. And it looks like we're starting to run out of tools. And tools is pretty much what these people are using to gather these resources, and just in general to do things. People here need tools. So with that sort of said, we can also convert some of this iron into tools and other goods like that, but I don't think it's an immediate priority, so we'll wait a bit on it. We have a ton of iron here as well. For the record, this darker stone, the stuff that looks like what would typically be stone inside video games, would be iron, and the lighter boulders and stuff like that is just regular stone. So there we go, things are coming along very, very smoothly. This is absolutely wonderful, and I wish there was a faster game setting, but unfortunately there isn't. So all of these things are being collected. It looks like there's going to be another winter, so we will have to sort of go through that period again. But right now I feel like, where is that? I feel like getting that trade depot up and running is the most important thing. And the trade depot here is just a sort of a little sea-going or a river-going thing, and you place it next to a river like this, so then when traders come from the edge of the map, and I'm not actually sure if there's like a little boat that comes up or anything, because typically I start the game on the medium difficulty, and you usually start off with seeds, but maybe a trader boat will come down here, and it'll wrap around and come to this trading depot for us to use. So anyhow, it'd be kind of cool to see that happen. Have the materials required. Just need the builders to come over here and build this particular thing, so we will just wait until our guys do whatever they need to do. Yep, firewood running low again. Ah, great. Yeah, people inside the villages, they seem to use a horrendously large amount of firewood. I mean, with a village this size of like 14, well I guess 19 people, for the amount of firewood they use, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire map was just barren in like 5 years. Like with 30 people, the amount of firewood used would just be tremendous. Let's get some more mining going on, and I think we'll just clear out all of this stuff right here. I kind of don't want to strip. I don't want to strip too much away from this like yellow circle around the gatherer's hut, because this area is what the gatherers from this hut will go to do their gathering, right? And if I strip down all the trees and shrubbery there, then this hut would be non-functional, and you don't get the food from doing these sort of like designating area sort of mining ops. Oh no, we have some guy without a tool, so we do need a blacksmith soon. You start out with a full complement of tools, but unfortunately we're starting to run out. I feel as though the trade depot is a little more important than a blacksmith right now, so I think we'll finish building that. But afterwards, we have ample supplies of iron and other stuff to build a blacksmith, which will allow us to build some more tools. It'll also be a really good trade good as well. And now that it's spring, we don't need any more firewood logs. We already have a nice little supply of 50, I suppose. Yeah, unfortunately our construction will be a little slower now that we're starting to run out of some tools. This guy has no tools, unfortunately. So close to finishing this building though. There we go. So that is up and running. That is good for us. Good news. I think we'll clear out, nope, not trees. I think we'll remove all of the iron here. And I want to venture forth and I want to grab all of the resources there. And in a little bit, I think I'll build that blacksmith, because tools are also a fairly good trade commodity. And I suppose we'll need something to trade the people over there for seeds, right? So might as well. Now, where should I put this blacksmith so that it'll look very, very pretty inside our little town here? Kinda want to slip it in just behind here. I guess that'll work. Got one guy to work at the trading depot. And at the trading depot, I want to sell some of our... Let's see what we have plenty of. Now that we've built this thing, I'm not really sure what we'd do with it. I guess we'll sell 22 roots. And the thing that we want to buy a lot of here is, I believe, a lot of grains, which then we can turn into food, or we can turn into seeds. Guess I'll try to get some grains, and we'll try to get some vegetables too. Something like that. Alright, well, there we go. Things are happening. Things are going well. I'm gonna check the in-games' little encyclopedia here, seeing as how our village seems to be going fairly well. And I'm actually wondering about where the actual food crops, where do we exactly get the seeds? Trading post, we require some seeds. We do need to get some of those seeds. I think what we have to do here is we can go to auto purchase when merchants arrive. very, very nice if we had some extra goods there to trade, but unfortunately we don't. So I think we'll have to wait until the merchants arrive before we